story. Conde.
Good evening, gentlemen and lady.
Yes.
Good evening.
I'm not restating my position. What I think is being put out there is a real travesty of what transpired. Mm-hmm. I want you all to be right clear. I think you know me that.
Yes.
I'm not that kind of person. Mm-hmm. On Sunday morning, I got up around 6 o'clock, getting ready to do a little exercising and so on. And I heard on the radio, Voice of Barbados, a statement, breaking news and so on and so forth, and how Mr. Simmons had been, quarantined because he had gone to a funeral. Now, the context of this whole thing is that we had 3 meetings over the last 2 weeks or so before the team left for England. So I said, this wasn't discussed by us, going to a funeral and so on. So I immediately wrote a letter to the president, told him what I heard. Meantime, my phone was ringing, parents, friends, members of my board, members of the membership of the Barbados Cricket Association. I asked the question. I said, if this is so, then we have to move swiftly, and he would have to be sacked. Now, within 10 minutes of that letter, I wrote the letter to the president and the board, the management, alone. I'll come to that a little later. A confidential letter, not knowing, but I found out subsequent to that, and Mr. Donovan Bennett can clarify or corroborate what I'm saying. He called me after he read it, he said to me, Conde, you know what? Before the team left for the UK, Mr. Simmons' father, he said father, but I learned later it's his father-in-law, I asked him and he requested permission to go to the funeral, which the medical team okayed along with the ECB. I said, but Donovan, we had 3 meetings to discuss the UK tour. The guys have been in quarantine. I mean, so when they practice at Kent Noble, they have to take a practice. I got permission for them to practice. I also allowed Wally and Reaper to come and join with them and practice. I got permission from the government and so on, because we were taking the whole safety and the health of these players very, very seriously.
Yes.
So I did not know that before, listen to me carefully, before the team, according to what Dr. Bennett said to me, that Mr. Simmons had asked for permission to attend the funeral. Otherwise, I would not have had to write that letter after being bombarded by these phone calls from, as I said, parents, friends, board members, and so on. How could you all do this, and so on and so forth, let this happen? So I wrote in that context. Then when Dr. Bennett spoke to me, I said, okay, but, we had 3 meetings, and at least we could have been told that this was something that was going to happen, and then it wouldn't take myself and others by shock, So once I got that information from Dr. Bennett, I thought that was the end of that. But, I see now today my confidential letter that I wrote to the board. Can you imagine this? A letter from a director to the board inquiring, and the words are, if this is true, then Dr. Bennett clarified it. And then this ends up on forgetting floor. And you know what? The most important paragraph in that letter is missing.
What paragraph is that?
I just said, I said if this is true.
Yes. And that was omitted.
What I heard on the radio, the report on the radio.
Yes.
And he said no, he got permission. Okay, but we had 3 meetings and nobody said anything to the board. The board is responsible. When things happen, you can't run. You have to take responsibility. I think something like that, with someone leaving that biosecure environment, the board should have been made aware. That's my position on that.
Yeah. But given the fact that
what is going on there is that I called for his sacking and this thing and the next thing. Yeah. That was because of ignorance. I did not know, but other people knew. And that's why I think Donovan called me to tell me, yes, they knew. But it would have been easy in one of those 3 meetings before the team left. This is nothing to do with when the team is there.
Yes.
Before the team, Dr. Bennett said to me, they knew before the team left. And you can ask him.
Okay.
I know him to be a truthful man.
Yeah, but as the story pans out, it was his father-in-law on a compassionate leave just for an afternoon to attend a funeral service. From your standpoint, if this was presented to you in a full way initially, you wouldn't have had a problem with it for compassion?
course not.
Yes.
Of course not. I have a family. You know, I have aunts. I have a godmother who is 96. A mother-in-law who is 102. And if they die, I would want to go to his funeral and ask for compassionate leave, of course. But I wrote the letter because I was not told at any of the 3 board meetings before God that this approach was made by Mr. Simmons. Once I found that out, I said, okay, Dr. Bennett, it's just unfortunate that, you know, at no time in those 3 meetings was this matter raised or the board was advised of the request. I would have no problem with that.
Okay, but Conde, you know, calling for him to be dismissed 1 week before the test starts. What if, you know, things had paneled the way you wanted? What would happen to the team? And, you know, who would come in and replace and all these different things?
Now, not what I wanted. Remember, I wrote the letter not knowing that he had been given permission and that he was going to be quarantined at another hotel or whatever. Once he came back from the funeral, I did not know that. I wrote that letter based on a breaking news story on the Voice of Barbados on Sunday morning, which spoke to his being quarantined after attending the funeral of a relative. I wrote a letter, as I would do anytime, to find out what was going on. I said, if this is true, once it was not true that he had just walked out and went to the funeral, that was supposed to be the end of that. But you know what?
Yeah.
Sensationalize it. President Riley called for the sacking of Phil Simmons to create emotion across the region. And I know why. I also know why certain parts of my letter were left out, you know? But nobody has said that the board was not made aware of Mr. Simmons' request. So when you leave me in the dark, I must ask a question.
Yeah.
Those 4 words, if this is true.
Yeah. What are you suggesting, Conde?
That's how Western Spirit is going, and I really can't. I prefer to just stay, run Barbados cricket, keep us at the top in every single age group, work hard, and just let this nonsense continue.
Just a final comment before we
ask one more question.
Yes.
Do you think it's proper that my letter, confidential letter, should be on clip info this morning, 40 hours after?
No, but how are you going to deal with that? Like,
I don't think so.
Are you going to?
That is so bad. How am I dealing with it? I have written again. I have written to the board, the president and the board, asking them how do these leaks continue. I don't have to leak my letter. I could give my letter out to the entire Caribbean regional journalists. I don't have to leak it. Yeah. But all I want is the truth.
Yeah.
And the facts to be told.
Conde, you said something 2 minutes ago that you know why certain parts of the letter would have not come out in that story. What are we missing? Can you tell us what you're getting at? What are you suggesting?
I prefer not to say. Oh. But there's a pattern. See, there's a pattern.
Okay.
But why, if you're going to leak a letter,
yes,
put the whole letter and let everybody be able to see the context in which this thing was written. Yeah. And it is those 4 words, if this is true. And then Dr. Bennett clarified it to me. I repeat myself. He called me and he said, Conde, I want to tell you that we knew. And the point is, before the team left, we had 3 meetings. So there was adequate time to tell me, don't go there making it look like I called for the sacking of the Simmons just so. I didn't know that he had been given permission. And I would like quickly residents to just clarify this whole thing. If they don't, but I'm clarifying now. But they must corroborate what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is true. If this is true, and if they can confirm that the board in none of those 3 meetings were told about something that I think is very important to me as a director.
All right, Conde. So
I don't know if you all think that's important, or you just...
No, it is important.
Let the directors hear on the radio.
No,
not good.
It is important. It is something that has to be addressed. I can't say that I disagree with you on that.
Conde, so I'm about to ask you to comment on Dave Cameron, his bid for ICC chairman. You know, what are the thoughts in your camp? What are you all thinking based on that?
My thinking is that if somebody put him up and he asked us, you know, we discussed it as a board. My personal feelings about what he's done for West Indies cricket, expanding it, professionalizing and so on, doesn't count. We will sit down as a board, make a decision, and that way, I don't even have a vote at that meeting. Our shareholder reps usually vote at these AGMs or whenever they have them. And, you know, they will bring the mandate of the Barbados Cricket Association. When Barbados supported Cameron last time, it was not Conde Riley's vote. Our board sat down and looked at what he had done and felt he deserved to continue. And to be specific, the expansion of regional cricket, the payment of not only 15 professionals, but 120. And that's was the reason why the BCA board supported him, and I suppose Guyana as well.
Yeah.
But that's a board decision.
Yeah,
And the mandate was not carried out with me, it was carried out by our shareholder reps at the meeting.
Okay. Cricket West Indies CEO has confirmed in the last 24 hours, Conde, that they have received a written statement from Dave Cameron requesting CWI support. Now, of course, we are talking about a CWI which March of 2019 unseated him as president. Is he being ambitious in expecting the CWI to support him in such a lofty proposal on his point to take over as ICC president?
Well, that's something that the board will discuss. I mean, he has been a director of the ICC for the last 6 years. He's chaired a number of committees. I think he has the experience to be able to do a good job.
I heard you speaking favorably about him in that position in the past 48 hours, Conde. If the vote was yours, you would have put him up for ICC president? Because
my board hasn't met on it right now.
Yes.
Up to now, sorry. I don't want to influence any of my board members.
Yes.
I know that the board supported him for president, but right now this is a new position, and I would like them to speak first.
Yeah. Dr. Kishore Shallow, the vice president of Cricket West Indies, spoke on nationwide radio in Jamaica earlier this week and suggested that he would not have his vote. He was, of course, speaking personally.
Okay. Well, he chose to speak in that way. No, I don't want to speak about it. If it was my vote, yes, but it is not my vote. It is the BCA's vote. As well, I don't know the influence that Mr. Shallow would have on the Women Islands board, but if he chooses to go public and say that, that's his style.
Yeah. And Conde, before you leave us, we have to talk about Sir Everton Weekes, a man that you've known for decades and a man that you would have recognized has, in a huge way, helped to put West Indies cricket on the map during his playing days. As BCA president, your reaction to the passing of Sir Everton Weekes today?
Well, Sir Everton has been ailing for a few months, but his passing, still came as a shock this morning, around midday today. We knew, we were called and told that he wasn't doing very well, and so on. Now, Sir Everton was a legend. He was my coach when I was about 13 years at Commonwealth School, right through. He was a coach for the Barbados and West Indies cricketers. Joe Garner was at my age group. We played against each other. He was at Foundation, Malcolm Marshall, all of the great West Indian bowlers and batsmen for the past few Everton's hands. On the occasion of the 70th anniversary of his 5 consecutive centuries, I guess that last test at Sabine he scored 100 in 1948, yes. And then went on to India and scored 4 consecutive centuries there to set the record up 70 years ago. We celebrated the 50th anniversary with a luncheon some time back, and last year we was at cricket when we celebrated again the 70th anniversary. For someone to set a record that is 70 years old, a test record, speaks to his talent, his greatness, and Barbados, West Indies, the world has lost not only a great batsman, but a gentleman, and one who was extremely witty, strict at times when he was coaching, but then you got to know the other side of him. He always had a joke, He liked you to speak the Queen's English, speak properly, things like that. And yes, Barbados, the West Indies, and the world have lost a true icon of cricket, a great man. I said to other journalists today that back in 2008, when we were setting up the Centre of Excellence at Kens Noble, I happened to be the chairman of cricket development at that time, I'm vice president, and we discussed whose name to put on it. And unanimously, that was 50 years ago, the 50th anniversary, 2008, the board agreed that he epitomizes excellence and that his name should be placed on it, the Everton Weekes Center of Excellence. And when I spoke to him, he said to me, "That's what you're going to do? You know that is going to be there forever?" I said, "Yes, but that's how we feel about you. And we want to make sure that your name is indelibly marked, not as a part of the 3Ws, which is standard named after, but in your own right, based on what you've done and the sort of pride you brought to Barbados, the West Indies, and the way you conducted yourself." So that name is there. He's also the patron of our under-13 cricket competition. And we thought, again, that the youngsters would want to know who is Sir Everton. So when they Google him, they'll understand that they're playing in his competition. And the good thing about it, he always came to the matches. And he always came to the final to present the trophy. He never would not come, even if he wasn't feeling well. He would always be there. And, hang and have a chat with the young under-13 guys. And if you saw how they looked at him, when he's talking to them, it was like if they had seen something from outside of the universe. He had this ethereal kind of look, and these little guys, when they realized that they were talking to him in person. And I'm happy that, they could at least have met him, talked to him, and he talked to them whilst he was still with us.
Yeah.
So I just finished speaking to his son who lives in Germany, Andy. He was also at school with me. And unfortunately, because of COVID-19, he may not be able to come, but we're trying to see what we can do virtually. And his other son, David Murray, I spoke to him as well. So it's a sad day for us, but we are extremely fortunate to have had a man like him amongst us for so long.
Conde Riley, as usual, always a pleasure talking to you on the SportsMax Zone, and we will be in touch. Thanks a lot for talking to us.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to the lady and yourselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Conde Riley. Great, Mariah, that he alluded to the fact that Sir Everton Weekes' contribution to cricket didn't stop at his retirement. He gave so much back to the sport as a coach, as a radio commentator, and an inspiration to the youngsters in his under-13 tournament that was named after him. So he gave a lot for decades upon decades, even after he stopped playing.
Definitely, Lance, and I think Conde Riley did a good tribute there, giving us so much information. He was able to give us some experiences that he had with Sir Everton as well. And I think, and I know it, when people like these die, their legacy just lives on. You can't, it never dies. It really never dies. Their contribution lives on. But another thing I want to touch on from that interview that we just had, we realized that there is obviously a lack of confidentiality within what's going on there with the Cricket West Indies and Mr. Riley, and I feel like there's so much more to this story than he chose to tell us.
Yeah, well, that is a contentious issue that has been there for a long time, and Conde seems as if he wants to attack this particular issue, and to be quite honest, you can't blame him.
Yeah.
Tino, online with us on the SportsMax Zone today. Conde said a lot just now. Any comments on some of the things that Conde just mentioned, including the Phil Simmons story and his tribute to Sir Everton Weekes as well?
I thought the president of the Barbados Cricket Association was absolutely professional. He couldn't even put it any better. I thought that the situation with Phil Simmons, that's a big issue, confidentiality with the board and stuff. I'm a little disappointed that when he explained what he wrote in terms of the letter, he was saying that if he didn't have any permission, he would have expected him to be sacked. I could agree with that, but know that the situation is that he didn't actually say it. The headline looked really bad, to be honest. And that's my honest opinion. I think that the confidence and the trust in the West Indies Cricket Board is at an all-time low. And going back to the vice president, what he said on the Jamaican talk show about his personal opinion, he would not back Dave Cameron to be the president of the International Cricket Council. That I'm shocked. I'm lost for words. I honestly believe that someone who reflected the appearance of yourself that you will want the utmost for them so that they can help people that look like us. But that's a whole different issue, right? About Sir Everton Weekes, class, brilliance personified. There's no more words that we can describe such an amazing human being. I started off the show talking about how amazing he was. I'll tell you a quick joke about Sir Everton quickly. There's this big joke in Barbados about Sir Everton. So one day Sir Everton was playing. I heard it from Henderson Springer. So, right, if I get in trouble, it's him that told me. Sir Everton was playing dominoes one night at Empire. And this guy that was keep nagging him all the time, saying, he got him out, I got you out, Sir Everton Weekes, I got you out. After about 45 minutes listening to this guy going on and on, Everton replied, "Excuse me, sir, what test match was it?" And everybody just went dead. So rest in peace, legend. He is a great man. Yeah. Rest in peace to Everton. It was funny. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
What test match was it? You know what that means, Mariah? The youngster didn't play test cricket.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
Yeah, he didn't play test cricket. Talk to me if you play test cricket. Tino, Mariah, we'll be back with more after this.
We'll take a short break.